gave me a hug. He was at Disney all day, and he gave me a hug, and then he instantly said, "Where's Kyle Busch? Did he win?"
Is he okay with the order?
Yeah, he's probably okay with it.
All right, we're now joined by one half of the front row for Sunday's Daytona 500, and that is P2, Chase Briscoe. If you have a question for Chase, please raise your hand, and we'll get you a mic. We'll start up here in the front.
Hey, Chase. I'm Chris Gollin here with NewsDaytonaBeach.com. So first of all, congratulations on the front row start. So with the dual race being something that is paying points in the new championship format this season, how do you balance wanting to prioritize getting points and the advantage that gives you with not wanting to do anything that could tear up your car before Sunday?
It's definitely a tougher balance than what it was last year. Last year, if you're one of those cars that, are confident that you're going to win a race throughout the season, not that you just throw away the duel, but you're not really worried about points, right? Where now, I mean, those 10 points could be a huge difference maker come at the end of the year. And, it's hard to sit here and talk about, points, the first 10 points, right? But those 10 points pay the same as the last 10 points. And that could be the difference maker in you obviously making the chase, but really the seedings and those bonus points that come along with the seedings. So, yeah, it'll be a tough balance, I think, tomorrow night of just trying to, manage your race and still try to run up front and get those points, but also not put yourself in a bad spot to where, you jeopardize your front row starting spot, because it is a big deal to still start in the front row. So, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming, even talking to James just very, very briefly, like the plan is to go race, unless it just drives terrible for whatever reason, and hopefully you can, stay out of the chaos.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions for Chase? Go to Bob, and then Zach.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. Does winning Talladega give you extra confidence coming into here?
Yeah, I think so. At least in my case, right? Like I'd never been able to win on any super speedway, at any level. So just finally getting to, win one, I definitely feel like I'll be more confident in my moves. I haven't ran a super speedway race since then, but I remember even Stenhouse coming up to me like the week after Talladega and just telling me, like, after you get one, like everything will click and it'll just be easier from now on. So, yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. I guess we'll find out a little bit tomorrow night, but certainly on Sunday.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Chase, front row of the Daytona 500 2 years in a row. What does this mean for you personally?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I feel like I'm a Hendrick driver almost. I felt like forever. It was just Hendrick cars on the front row like 7-8 years in a row. So it's cool for sure just to be able to consistently 2 years in a row now. And, it's really a testament to, the folks back at JGR. We've made, so many improvements on our super speedway program. And, this race really comes down to, at least in qualifying, it comes down to the attention to detail and just doing every little thing. And, the 19 group has consistently, kind of been the best one. And that's really exciting for us. And just a lot of pride in that, right? And I know for me, every week when I get in the car, I know that I'm in arguably the best car every single week. And just, when we come here and do stuff like we've done now 2 years in a row, it just validates that. So that's really special. And then, it's the kid in me, right? Like to be able to lead the field of green 2 years, not lead the field, but be on the front row, right? 2 years in a row at the Daytona 500. It's a really big deal. And, not only for myself, but, I haven't even checked my phone. I'm sure Johnny Morris is just ballistic already. He gets super fired up for this race. And, I mean, he's called me probably 2 or 3 times already this week, like telling me that he's so excited to get here and asking me how the car is. So it's a big deal for him as well. So, yeah, it should be awesome to, be on the front row again Sunday.
Any other questions for Chase? Reed?
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. As big a point of emphasis as the hands on the wheel has been this week, were you surprised that somebody got busted in the first session?
He's my buddy, but I'm not surprised it was the guy that had it happen to him. I told my guys as soon as it happened, I said, of all the people, I bet he didn't even remember that it was a rule. It's pretty funny. I joked with my guys, though, after. I said, honestly, if we could have had my hand up, I think I would have been on the pole because I've done a really good job of just practicing that perfect form all the way around the racetrack. But no, it did not surprise me that of all the people, like if there was odds on it, I would say he would have been the odds-on favorite.
Go over here to Steve.
Steve Schweitzer with Inside the Cup Crash. Did you make any changes to the vehicle between practice and qualifying tonight?
I have no idea. I'm not the guy to ask on that. I know that there was some stuff that I wasn't not unhappy with, but I just thought that there was some stuff that we could do better. After practice, our car, I mean, everybody's car, right? You see it on TV, is just bouncing all over the place. So I just asked, my guys if there's anything they can do to make it maybe a little bit better. I just felt like we were hitting the ground so hard that we had been giving up some amount of time, just in the car hitting. So, yeah, I thought it was a little bit better there in qualifying, and I don't know what they changed, but I'm fairly confident they must have changed something because it didn't bounce quite as bad.
And we'll take one more. We'll go to Jeff.
This might sound like a really dumb question, but the telemetry on Fox was showing like a lot of drivers going 90% throttle, not 100%. Is that a thing?
Unless they're scared, but I don't think so.
Like
yeah, I will say, though, the Fords every single week, even on like our data, they're wide open is 90% for whatever reason. But, yeah, they're wide open.
Okay, so the telemetry is just not showing it right. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely not right.
Okay.
If whoever showed 90, it was wrong. If it showed 90 for me, I was pushing my foot as hard as I possibly could. All that workout stuff James has been having me do, I was using it on my right foot. So, yeah, I was definitely 100% throttle.
Well, Chase, congratulations on a great run tonight, and good luck in Sunday's Daytona 500.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Hey, 1 to 4, buddy. 1 to 4.
Okay, we are now joined by the Busch Light Pole Award winners, driver Kyle Busch, owner of Richard Childress Racing, Richard Childress, and the crew chief of the number 8, Jim Pullman. We'll go right to questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get you a mic, and we'll start with Bob.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. Did you come into the qualifying session thinking you had a shot at the pole?
This guy did. He had all the confidence in the world. He said, this is what we're going to do. So we just set out to the plan that Jim laid out and had a really good practice and being able to put some good time on the car and maybe learn a couple things and make the speed that we needed in order to come out here and sit on the pole tonight.
And no driver has ever has never earned their first Daytona 500 victory after their 20th start. So if you can win, you make history. What would it mean to make kind of history in that type of sense?
Yeah, it's a box we got to check. So here we are. This is an opportunity to be able to do that. And, I've come down here a lot of years, and I think I've finished in about every position possible. So it'd be nice to close out 2026 with a victory here in the Daytona 500.
Go to Jenna.
Jennifer, AP, congratulations, guys. For both Kyle and Richard, just what kind of boost is this for the race team?
I think it's a huge boost. I think bringing Jim on board and having his passion and determination of what he's done all off season long and leading his group of guys and, having them all believing in him and putting our faith in what he's got to do for our team and being able to give us what we need to go out there to succeed. So this is just a first step of it. I mean, this is the beginning of the year, first qualifying attempt of the season. There's a whole heck of a lot more that we've got to do throughout the season to be good, to be real, to be contenders. And, but it sure feels good in the moment right now. So a lot of hard work behind the scenes with everybody at RCR, everybody at ECR. And, it feels good to give this guy another pole down here and love nothing more than to make history and put ourselves in victory lane Sunday night.
Yeah, it's great, getting Jim on and just watching how he fit into our family at RCR. It's great, and I watched them. I stand back and watch a lot, and to watch how they work this winter and the way they just do everything right now, I'm just happy and proud of all of them. And Kyle, we've got to get this 500.
Holly?
Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service, and either of you can answer it, or if you would like to, this is a heck of a way to start things off. I mean, and Kyle, we were speaking earlier today, and I think you were optimistic, but you may say this was even better than what you were expecting. And if you could just talk about what this means to you to have your first big race here and do that.
Yeah, I mean, to come out swinging and get a Daytona 500 pole as the first race as a crew chief is pretty humbling for me. There's a lot of hype around it, and feels really good, obviously. But yeah, I think to echo what they've said here, we need to start season out strong, and this is just one small step of it. But kudos to everybody at ECR, RCR, the whole organization. Made a good plan coming into this, and we've executed really well. So nice to see that out of everybody.
Go over here.
Hey guys, I'm Chris Collins, NewsDaytonaBeach.com. First of all, congrats, Kyle, Richard, and Jim on the poll there. I want to ask you guys the same thing, specifically you, Kyle, the same thing that I asked Chase Briscoe, which is how do you balance the benefits and drawbacks of racing for points in the dual race, especially with the championship format changed now, versus the risks of doing something that could tear up your car before Sunday?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we've got to sit down and talk about, and figure out what our game plan is going to be. And so there is that plus and minus of it, right? We've got a great opportunity to start on the front row with this race car, so we've got to get through the dual race. And I've been with Richard here 3 years now. This will be my fourth, and I think we've wrecked 2 of those years. So we'd like to not do that tomorrow night and have a good, clean race to come out and be able to use this car for Sunday and start the race from the number 1 spot.
Thanks, Kyle.
Any other questions for this group? Go up here to Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Jim, when we spoke at the end of last year about this upcoming partnership, you said that you believe that you and Kyle would have very similar personalities, but you hadn't yet looked at his analytical chart. Have you done that, or how have you just feel like now with Bowman Gray competition in the books and getting through a competition environment today, that is going as far as matching personalities and passion?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're very close on a lot of things. I would say going forward, we are probably very passionate together, and hopefully that shines out.
Kyle, every year it's a storyline, right, of haven't won the Daytona 500. Do you just want to yell at us all of can we stop talking and asking about it? Or what does that do to you every year, honestly, coming down here and knowing that that's the topic, in addition to how badly you want to win this race?
We just got to get the job done, so we stop talking about it. So no better time than right now here in 2026. So it's just the nature of what this race is and what it holds, and being in the right place at the right time, making the right moves when you can. And we were just talking about it. It'd be nice to lead all 200 laps and stink up the show and win this thing, but I don't think you'll make it on fuel if you did that. So there's all kinds of different strategies, and there's going to be 30 other guys plus that have that same opportunity, that they believe they can win this race as well too. So that's why you got to run the race and play it all out as it comes.
Any final questions? Wrap up with Jenna here in the middle.
Oh, yeah? No, I haven't. I was just texting Samantha right now because she was hopeful that I was going over there tonight to then go be with those guys tomorrow. But apparently there's a whole media day that I've got to do now for the Daytona 500 pole sitters. So unfortunately, I won't be with him tomorrow. But, that's because of good things that happened here tonight. So, it's been a rough stretch. It's no secret, right? And, seeing my son and his passion that he has, he really, really is probably my biggest cheerleader. And he wants to see me run well. He wants to see me win races. He wants to celebrate in victory lane like he sees other drivers' kids being able to do. So there's nothing more that drives me every single weekend than seeing him see me be proud of me. I mean, I think so. I don't know. I mean, I think winning the pole is great, right? Like you're being able to start up front. This is a big pole to win. I think I've only ever had one other speedway pole in my career, which was here in Daytona in the summer race. But you know, the Daytona 500 pole is a bigger deal than that one was. But obviously, the real stuff happens on Sunday.
Well, Richard, Kyle, Jim, congratulations. Thank you for your time and good luck tomorrow and Sunday.
Thank you. You got it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.